So my name's Dan, I work at London Zoo, and I've been here now since 2016. So I'm a senior keeper at the moment, and I work a lot with our venomous snake collection, including the Bushmasters you can see behind me. Now, they're a great species. We've had them in the zoo since 2016. We brought in a group of youngsters. They would have quite happily curled up on your hand at the time they were that small, and now we've got 3 very large adults and quite a few juveniles upstairs. Bushmasters, the genus Lachesis. They're a really, really interesting species of snake from the Americas. So there are, at the moment, 4 species in the genus. We work with one of those, Lachesis stenophores. And these guys are from Central America, so Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. They're one of the largest venomous snakes in the world. These guys are actually the largest living species of viper in terms of length. And they're probably the longest, as a genus, probably the longest genus of venomous snakes in the Americas. We do maintain an appropriate environment here for the snakes. It takes a bit of work because obviously we're not in Central America, so we've got very good environmental control inside the exhibit, and we have more snakes off show as well, which again we control the environment for. These guys they seem to do best kept at around about between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. So it's quite a relatively stable temperature, but again, going back to the habitat of choice, that's what we would probably expect. So we've got air conditioning, we've got the ability to warm exhibits and cool exhibits, which is really useful. And off-show, again, we've got climate-controlled rooms, so we can set the temperature day and night, and we can set that in graduation, so it's not as if it hits 9 AM and all of a sudden it bumps up to 25 degrees. It's a nice gradual process, which again just mirrors how it would be in the wild. They've got basking rights as well, so I know I've read in the past that people say they don't need basking opportunity, they don't thermoregulate like that. We've got a large enough space here that we are able to provide them with the option to, so they've got the choice. I think that's really important. So it's great that we've got a large area here. We've got 2 snakes living in this exhibit, which is, I'd say, about 4 meters across, maybe 2.5 meters deep, so quite a big area. That's on the hillside as well, so it's higher at the back than it is at the front, which again kind of mimics a habitat. So you can imagine on a cloudy summer's day when it's quite warm in here, they're going to have a choice of temperature gradients and also hiding opportunities and humidity as well. So we've got misting systems and humidifiers in all of the areas that we keep these snakes in. So the way that we actually went about cycling the pair that we have in here for breeding, initially we put them in when they were adults, so they had lived separately for all of the juvenile years of their life. And we put them in here in March, I believe. They had a period of time in here to kind of settle in, and over the UK winter time it was naturally a bit cooler in the exhibit. With the spray system, they'd gone from being off-show in large custom-made exhibits that we were manually hand spraying to then go into an on-show exhibit with an automatic misting system. That misting was just so much more intense and so much heavier. Naturally, the ambient temperature here was a bit cooler compared to how it was off-show. So I think initially that kind of was the trigger for them to start to breed. Currently we have 3 of the 5 youngsters upstairs. 2 of them have gone to a different institution in the UK. So it's great that these animals that we've bred here can go on to help others in the UK and in the reptile keeping community learn more about Lachesis. Maybe we'll learn more about the venom. That could have any number of brilliant pharmaceutical applications in the future, so it's nice to be able to contribute to that. I mean, it's an absolute privilege just to get to work with the species in the first place, so that's fantastic. And to have young animals that we've then put the years and years worth of effort into maturing and growing up and trying to work out all the particular nuances of how best to care for them, that's been a really, really nice journey. I think it's very important to have a bigger purpose for keeping animals, so we like to try and learn as much as we can about all the species that we keep here. So in the time that we have maintained the species here, we've written a paper about how we have kept and bred the species, so successful husbandry and conditions needed for reproduction. And also we've recently published a paper on a novel method of sexing this species of viper, which we think will be applicable to many other species of viper as well. So it's small things like this that can just gradually help to improve our current understanding and improve the welfare of snakes like this in captivity.